Hi everyone, it's Taylor. Welcome back to my channel. I'm an American expat living in Malaysia and I like to share my life and travels with you. Well, today I'm just going to give you some fun facts about Malaysia that you might not know. In my last video, I cleared up some misunderstandings about Malaysia, but now I'm just going to tell you some fun facts about Malaysia. Sound interesting? Stay tuned. Now, most people know a few things about Malaysia. Basically that it's in Southeast Asia. Sometimes people get that right. That they have the Twin Towers here. Yeah, people know about that. But there's other really interesting things about Malaysia that you probably don't know, and I certainly didn't, so it was fun to look them up and share them with you. Everyone knows it's really hot here. Everyone knows it rains a lot. Everyone knows it has fantastic food. But let's start now with some things you might not know. Now, I hope all this information is accurate, but if it's not, please don't blame Taylor. You can blame the internet. Okay, let's get started. We'll start with the ringgit, the national currency of Malaysia. Ringgit means jagged in Malay. It refers to the serrated edges of the Spanish silver dollars that were used in the 16th and 17th century. Wow, that's interesting. I didn't know that, did you? In fact, I had no idea what ringgit meant. It is a funny name for a currency though. Cute, I think. Here's something else I didn't know. Before our country was named Malaysia, or even Malaya, it was called Aurea Chisonius, which means Peninsula of Gold. The name was given by a Greco-Roman geographer, a long time ago, I would imagine. Now, this is really interesting, I think. In 1991, this skeleton was found in Perak, and it's called Perak Man. It is 11,000 years old and is believed to be the oldest human remains found in Southeast Asia. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I hope you can't hear that. Someone's drilling in another apartment. I love that. You know how Taylor loves that. Did you know that the biggest roundabout in the world is in Putrajaya, which is where all the government offices are here in Malaysia? And it's 3.5 kilometers in diameter. That's a big roundabout. Here's another fun fact. Malaysia is the only country in the world to possess territory on the mainland of Southeast Asia, as well as on the islands that stretch between Asia and Oceania. And they're referring to the island of Borneo there. In fact, it's almost like two different countries. Not really, they're both Malaysia, but because they have different immigration departments and requirements in East Malaysia and Peninsula Malaysia, even Malaysians have to use their passports to go between the two parts of the country. That's interesting. And speaking of Borneo, did you know that it's the third largest island in the entire world? It doesn't look that big, but I guess it is. I really have only been to Sarawak, so I've only been to a little bit of it. I'd love to go to Kota Kinabalu someday though. Did you know that Malaysia has over 68 kilometers of highway? To give you an idea how much that is, it's longer than the circumference of the Earth. So you could drive around Malaysia or drive around the Earth. This beautiful Malaysian tiger native to Malaysia is a majestic creature. Unfortunately, there's said to be less than 350 left. So they are a severely endangered species. I hope they have a rebound. They're beautiful. Did you know that Malaysia was home to one of the tallest tropical trees in the world? The tualang, which has a base diameter of over 10 feet and can grow up to 262 feet in height. That's tall. That's like a 26-story building. That's amazing. I'm not sure I've seen one of these, but I probably have because they're probably everywhere. Now this I sort of knew, and it's a funny way I knew about it, because I used to be a big Bette Davis fan, you know, the old movie star in the US, and she did a movie called The Letter, which took place on a rubber plantation in Malaysia. I don't know if anybody remembers it. It wasn't very authentic about Malaysia, but it did let me know that they do have rubber plantations in Malaysia. In fact, Malaysia is the third largest producer of rubber in the world, and the world's largest supplier of rubber gloves. Now, I've talked about this before, But Malaysians only make up a little over 50% of the population. The rest is comprised of other groups, Chinese, Indians, and other indigenous people like Iban. I knew an Iban guy once. He was from a headhunter tribe. Malaysia also follows a unique rotating monarchy system. I'd never heard about it before I moved here, where 9 ethnic Malay state rulers take turns being the king. I guess that would be fun because then you wouldn't have that responsibility all the time, only for a 5-year period. And I guess that means you could be the king more than once. I'm sure there have been, but that's really different, don't you think? I didn't know that. I guess I did know it a little bit because recently they changed the king to the Sultan of Johor, who you can see here. And viewers have said that I look like. I don't see the resemblance, frankly. We are about the same age, though. Did you know that the highest point in Malaysia was Mount Kinabalu? I guess that must be near Kota Kinabalu, huh? You'll never catch Taylor climbing that mountain, but it is majestic. I'll probably get to see it someday, but I won't be climbing it, that's for sure. The mountain is 13,430 feet high, and UNESCO has recognized the peak as a World Heritage Site. That's unusual. Speaking of UNESCO, Malaysia is home to 4 UNESCO World Heritage Sites. The Gunung Mula National Park, the Kinabalu Park, the cities of Malacca and Georgetown. I thought the only World Heritage Sites were Malacca and Georgetown, Penang. Learn something new every day, don't you? Did you know that Sarawak has the largest cave chamber in the world? The cave chamber in Gunung Mula National Park on Borneo Island is so vast that according to rough mathematics, it can accommodate 40 Boeing 747s without the planes even having to overlap their wings to fit in. That's a big cave, I'll say. Maybe I'll see that someday. This is something I really didn't need to know, but Malaysia has the largest population of king cobra snakes in the world. Wow, I didn't know that. I haven't seen one. But I have to say that my friends Ross and Sam did find one in their backyard in Penang. All you have to do is call the fire department, or Bomba, I think that's how you pronounce it, and they'll come and take it away for you. That's good to know, and hopefully before it bites you. And did you know that the world-famous shoe designer Jimmy Choo is from Penang? Wow, that's an amazing. He must be like the most famous person from Penang, except maybe someone else who's a fugitive. But I'd say Jimmy Choo is known worldwide. Boy, and these are some fancy shoes, I'd say. They don't look all that comfortable to me, but I guess you could wear them to a fancy event. Pomelo, which is widely available in Malaysia, is the most abundant citrus fruit in the world. I didn't know that. It's very similar to a grapefruit if you haven't seen one before. It looks like a grapefruit, but it's not as juicy as a grapefruit, at least the ones I've had. But it's nice in salads. I do like it. Well, and this isn't a secret or anything new, but the national dish of Malaysia is nasi lemak, which is rice cooked with coconut milk. Delicious, except for the fishy taste. Well, the rice doesn't have a fishy taste, but the sambal usually does. So the national dish is nasi lemak, and the national drink is teh tarik, which is a mixture of tea and milk. I think sweetened condensed milk. Could be wrong about that. But that's not news that nasi lemak or teh tarik are the national food and drink of Malaysia. So did you hear anything you didn't know before? I wonder if my Malaysian viewers knew everything I told them, or if they learned something new too. If you're not from Malaysia, I bet you learned a thing or two. You know, it's interesting sometimes just to look up fun facts about where you live. You'll learn something about anywhere you live, I would imagine. Maybe I'll look up fun facts about Florida, where I'm from. I might learn something new there too. Who knows? But if you enjoyed today's video, please like and subscribe, and check the notification bell too so you won't miss any of my future videos. And also, now that I have Buy Me a Coffee, which I can tell you I'm so grateful for the many people who have sent me a coffee, thank you very much. But you can buy me a coffee if you really enjoy my content and want to say, thank you, Taylor. I really appreciate it. And you can send a little personal note along with it. And if you want to buy something for Earl Grey, just put that in the note instead of buying a coffee for me. Well, that's all I have for today, everybody. I'm going to be going to Genting Highlands soon for a weekend, and I can't wait to show you that trip. It's going to be interesting. I'm not sure what to expect, but stay tuned for that. It'll be coming in a couple of weeks. But that's all I have for today, everybody. Thank you so much for watching, and thanks for your wonderful contributions. Talk to you later. Bye.